First off, I want to give all praises and glory to the Most High Yahawah, in the name of His only begotten Son YAHAWASHI, in the name of the Holy Spirit. In Paleo Hebrew, it's called Halal Yahawah Bahashem Yahawashai Bahashem Rahach Kodash. Double honors to the elders and apostles of GMS who taught me this truth. Salutations to all the brothers out there that's teaching this word in truth and sincerity, and peace, blessings, and healings unto the elect and the multitude, because that's why we do these videos. And today, man, I want to talk about this. It says, Space Force boss acknowledges the U.S. will begin facing threats outside of Earth. And this is scriptural and this is prophetic, because it says in the scriptures in the last days that Yahawashi would invade the Earth. He will go to war with the inhabitants of the Earth. And also, I got two accounts of the so-called white man who is Edomites, saying that the angels visited them, on two accounts and what they look like. You have that to look forward to. But it says, U.S. Space Force General B. Chance Saltzman is the second ever top chief at this new military branch that former President Donald Trump created during his time in office. And the reason they made the Space Force is because they're going to go to war with the Lord. It doesn't matter if you believe it or not. This is why they're doing these things. They're not going to tell you. We know and they know. It says, this effort was ridiculed by the media and the general population due to all the stigma attached to it. But Saltzman issued a concerning warning at the space synopsis in Colorado Springs, Colorado this past week. It all happened right in the middle of all the activity related to the unexplained aerial phenomena that's taken place since the start of 2023. And all the reason all the angels, these are angels, are showing themselves is because it's that time, man. Okay, they're about to go to war with these people, because at the end of the day, these people touched the apple of the Lord's eye, man. His chosen, okay, the Israelites. They enslaved his people. They shoot his people down in the streets like dogs. They treat his people like shit, okay? And Yahawashi is done with that. That's why his people need salvation. That's why when Christians say they are saved from what? You know what I'm saying? Because his people need salvation from their enemies, okay? They need to be saved for real. Y'all people don't need to be saved. The blacks, Latinos, and Native Americans need to be saved from these people, man. They're weird. Okay, over here doing you got so-called white men saying they're trans age, acting like babies and shit. You know what I'm saying? They're poisoning our water, our food, okay, our children's minds, our women. You know what I'm saying? You look down at all the list of things that they're doing to our people, man. It's been all-out war on our people, man, ever since, the 1400s, but we endured it all, man, but Yahawashi's coming to save his people at the last, man, you know what I'm saying? He's convinced that the United States is entering a new era of space activity, and the threats will be vastly different, and they will, man. You can read the rest of this article, you know what I'm saying, but let's get straight to these videos I want to play, because they're both pretty long. And here go the first video. It's of this dude right here, this astronaut saying what angels look like and all that. So let's play this, and then I'm going to play another video.
That you can help get us over.
Okay.
Hey, those things are real.
Okay, but if there are craft, there are beings.
Okay, people have asked me about, I call them vehicles, okay?
Right.
Now, I did not call them objects. That was too neuter for me.
Okay.
I had a Stanford professor said you ought to call them objects. No. They have all of the qualities of a vehicle. Mm-hmm. They can move. They're just like a missile or anything like that. So that much we can say about them, for sure.
Okay.
So I'm calling it a vehicle.
Okay.
Okay, somebody comes along and says, well, now where would you manufacture one that's 2.5 Earth lengths long? And that's a hard question to answer. However, if you think of it in terms of its living entity, it's just another kind of thing that we've got in our universe. And it can grow and grow and grow and grow.
Okay,
So it can be an MV, and it can itself have life.
Uh-huh. So are you not positing the idea that those vehicles contain, beings who are, maybe like us?
If I only go along with government images, and if you want to know about people kind of thing, there is the ship that picked up the Voyager capsule at Alameda Naval Shipyard, and they have a picture there of I think it's the Apollo flight that Buzz and Neil were on. But anyway, there is one image there that shows black people getting off.
So people with dark skin getting off.
Not dark, black.
Black skin.
Really black. Yeah.
Were they tall?
Yes.
Very tall?
Yeah.
How tall? Do you know?
Well, they got out the doorway. I don't know how high that is, but
Well, what?
it's safe. 7 feet would be probably a conservative estimate.
You know, and this is the so-called white man's worst nightmare, man, because who they call Jesus Christ is a so-called black man. It says it in Revelations 1. God, you know, is a so-called black man. He made his son look just like him. You know, these people got a lot of stuff to pay for him. You know what I'm saying? That's why the second coming, he's going to go to war with these people. You know, it's going to be an invasion of the earth, and he's going to take down the so-called power that's in power right now. Let's play another video.
Air Force Base, these cigar-shaped ships were over a mile in length. One of them landed on the airport landing strip area. When it touched the ground, it created an earthquake like about a 3.5 to 4.0. It terrified everybody in the area. The back of this craft opened up, and several hundred young men with huge, heavy weapons came out of two sides of the ship and formed a protection line around the ship. And the people at that Air Force base, the commander, had a meeting with the individuals that were aboard this ship. And this particular race that landed those ships and that are seen in these huge cigar-shaped ships, they are a black race. They look like African Americans. They were about 6'4", 6'5", these tight-fitting black leather outfits on, and the weapons that they came out of the ships with, they were huge weapons. And if you've ever seen a race of people that were conquerors, that had never been conquered, they've got this look about them of arrogance. That is exactly what these extraterrestrials had, and they informed these people at this American Air Force base that not only were they from a militaristic society, but they had controlled a large portion of the galaxy that we live in. And this was the statement that Ronald Reagan was making to the United Nations when he said that if all the countries on the planet realized that there was a threat from outer space and from an alien civilization, we would all come together. But he was not allowed to make this statement. What I tell you is true, and the gentleman that you had on before, tell him to look up this.
Often forget how much unites all the members of humanity. Perhaps we need some outside universal threat to make us recognize this common bound. I occasionally think how quickly our differences worldwide would vanish if we were facing an alien threat from outside this world. And yet, I ask you, is not an alien...
So you heard the speech that Ronald Reagan gave, you know what I'm saying? So we're going to knock out these scriptures, man, you know, because like I said at the beginning of this video, that this is prophetic. This is Psalms 103:20, because, you know, what these two people explained, what they saw was angels, okay? What this dude saw on this whatever, and this guy right here, he's talking about the angels, okay? And angels, they go to and fro from the earth all the time. Okay. This is Psalms 103 and 20. Bless Yahawah, Bahashem YAHAWASHI, ye his angels that excel in strength, that do his commandments, hearken unto the voice of his word, because angels are perfect in righteousness. Okay, they can't do wickedness, they can't think wickedness, they're perfectly righteous. Point blank period. It says, bless ye Yahweh Shemashah, all ye hosts, ye ministers of his that do his pleasure. Okay, so they take orders and they do what they do. Okay, now these two instances right here, this one, they probably got ordered to go tell the enemy we better go to war with them, okay? Or whatever they was doing. Now in the vehicles they drive, this is Psalms 104 and 1. Bless Yahweh Shemashah, O my soul, O Yahweh Shemashah, my power. Thou art very great, thou art clothed with honor and majesty, who coverest thyself with light as with a garment, who stretcheth out the heavens like a curtain. Okay, and this one they was driving a cigar shaped type of vehicle. Who layeth the beams of the chambers in the waters, who maketh the clouds his chariots. You know, and he was trying to say like they don't know. He trying to not call it an object, but in the scriptures, you know, they're called chariots or clouds. Okay, that's what those vehicles are called. Who maketh his angels spirits, his ministers of flaming fire. So angels drive in those chariots that are likened unto clouds. And this one, it looked like a cigar shape. And I got a picture right here. Okay. Now moving on, this is Psalm 68 and 17. It says, the chariots of God are 20,000. So who drives in those chariots? The angels. Even thousands of angels. Okay. The Lord is among them as in Sinai in the holy place. So Yahweh Shemashah has an army, man. That's why in the second coming it's going to be the spiritual versus the carnal. Okay, it's going to be Yahawashai and his army versus the world and their army, and they're going to lose. Okay, they're going to lose the battle for the earth. This is Isaiah 26 and 20. This is talking about in the last days. Okay, everybody calls it the rapture, but it's people are going to get saved, man. You know what I'm saying? And then they're going to go to war with the world. It says, could my people enter into thy chambers, okay, the ones who repented and turned back to the Lord, and shut the doors about thee in these vehicles, hide thyself as it were for a little moment until the indignation overpass, until Yahweh shall get done obliterating these people, man. It says, for behold, the Lord cometh out of his place to punish the inhabitants of the earth for their iniquity. Okay, and one of those things was touching his people. The earth also shall disclose her blood and shall no more cover her slain. Now, this is Isaiah 47. This is talking about America going down because it talks about, oh, virgin daughter of Babylon. Okay, but when you go down to 7, well, let me go up one. It says, I was wroth with my people. I had polluted my inheritance because his people went off. Okay, Yahweh Shemashah came down, gave the law, statute, and commandments to Moses. Okay, and then his people didn't keep that first covenant. So you go read Deuteronomy 28. He put his people in slavery for disobeying him and giving them into thy hand. So they was given into the hand of the so-called white man. Okay, thou didst show them no mercy. The so-called white man didn't show no mercy, man. They went overboard. It says, upon the ancient hast thou very heavily laden thy yoke. Okay, so we was given into the hand of our enemies, not by no manifest destiny. We was given over by the Lord, man, for disobeying him. And thou saidest, I shall be a lady forever. Okay, they think they're going to rule forever. So thou didst not lay these things to heart. They didn't think about what was going to happen, okay, at the end of everything. Thou didn't remember the latter end of it. Okay, and that latter end of it is you're going to go to war with the Lord and lose. Isaiah 31 and 5. As birds flying, so will the Lord of hosts defend Jerusalem. Defending also he will deliver it, and passing over it, he will preserve it. Okay, as birds flying. Okay, Yahweh Shemashah has his angels flying in chariots. Now the Egyptians are men and not God, and their horses flesh and not spirit. Okay, you see how he said that they expand like their ships expand and despan. You know, these people can't fight that. All they got is tanks, jets, stealth planes, machine guns. That's why they're going to lose horribly, man. And it says they're going to lose in the last days. When the Lord stretcheth out his hand, both he that helpeth shall fall, and he that hopeth shall fall down, and they shall all fall together. So they're going to lose, man. That's why they got a space force. Now this is Revelations 12. It talks about this in detail. And 7. And there was a war in heaven. Michael and his angels fought against the dragon, and the dragon fought against his angels. So they're going to fight, man. It's going to be one realm versus another. When you read 2nd Ezra chapter 13, it talks about this whole day, man. Okay, the second coming. It talks about YAHAWASHI coming to the earth, going to war with the people. Okay, the people trying to come up against him. But I want to go down a little bit. Behold, the days come when the Most High will begin to deliver them that dwell upon the earth. We just read Isaiah 26, where it says that his children will be in them vehicles, and they will hide for a little moment while the Lord does his thing. It says, and he shall come to the astonishment of them that dwell upon the earth. He shall come to the astonishment of them that dwell upon the earth. That astonishment is in Revelations 1:7. Behold, he cometh with clouds, and every eye shall see him, and also those who pierced him, all kindreds of the earth shall wail because of him. Even so, amen. They shall wail because of him. The world is going to mourn when the Yahawashi arrives, because they're going to see that, oh man, they don't look like us, they look like them. And we touched those people. We treated those people like shit. And the Lord's going to be angry, okay? Because he touched the apple of his eye, man. It says, and then shall appear the sign of the Son of Man in heaven, and then shall all the tribes of the earth mourn. Why is all the earth going to mourn when the Lord returns? You got to think about this, is because you look at what they did to his people. That's what they're going to be thinking, man. It says, and they shall see the Son of Man coming in the clouds of heaven with power and great glory. Now, another scripture you can get is Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 5. It talks about what those people going to be acting like. Then shall the righteous man stand in great boldness before the face of them which have afflicted them and made no account of his labors. And when they see it, they shall be troubled with terrible fear, and shall be amazed at the strangeness of his salvation so far all they that looked for. So they're going to be troubled with terrible fear. And they repenting and groaning of anguish of spirit shall say within themselves, this was he whom we had sometimes in a derision and a proverb of reproach. So the so-called white man's going to be like, man, we treated these people like shit. Called them niggers and all that. Wetbacks. You know, they had us in derision. We fools accounted his life madness and his end to be without honor. How is he numbered among the children of God and his lot is among the saints? That's what these people going to be thinking, man. They're going to be fucking pissed off. They're going to be hurt. Going back to 2nd Ezra, it says, and one shall undertake to fight against another, one city against another, one place against another, one people against another, and one realm against another. So this is what Revelations 12 is talking about, that Michael and his angels fought against the dragon and his angels, which means the angels fought against the militaries of the world. Okay, and they're going to lose. Now, when you go up to 2nd Ezra chapter 13, when you read the top, it talks about the second coming. And I beheld, and lo, that man waxed strong with the thousands of heaven. That man waxed strong with his angels, okay, his air force. And when he turned his countenance to look, all things trembled when they were seen under him. Everybody's going to be fearful when the Lord returns. And whosoever the voice went out of his mouth, all they burned that heard his voice, like the earth as it fell to fire. And after this I beheld, and lo, there was gathered together a multitude of men out of the number of the four winds of heaven to subdue the man that came out of the sea. To subdue the man that came out of the sea. So they went to war, man. They're going to try to fight the Lord when he returns, the armies of the world. Okay, Michael and his angels, and the dragon and his angels. Okay, which is basically just like tanks, stealth planes, and whatever else they got. But I beheld, and lo, he had graven himself a great mountain and flew upon it. But I would have seen the region or place wherein the hill was graven, and I could not. And this one, it was a cigar type shape of vehicle. The Lord drives in a vehicle that's so big you can't even see the ends of it. And the so-called white man's going to try to fight that. That's why they got a space force. Okay, because they're going to fight until the end. And just like with Pharaoh, YAHAWASHI is hardened their heart, just like he hardened Pharaoh's heart. So they are going to fight, man, even if they don't want to. They're going to be forced to fight. And after this I beheld, and lo, all they which were gathered together to subdue him were so afraid, but yet did fight. And lo, as he saw the violence of the multitude that came, he neither lifted up his hand nor sword, nor any instrument of war. But only I saw that he had sent out of his mouth that has been a blast of fire, and out of his lips a flame of breath, and out of his tongue he had cast out sparks and tempests. And basically, he obliterated them, man. So this is what the so-called white man has to look forward to. You know what I'm saying? And like it says in these two accounts, the angels already visited them. You know what I'm saying? And probably threatened them. and they're still, poisoning our people. You know what I'm saying? So, and doing everything else to our people. So, our people need salvation, and that's what's going to come down to. And the Lord's going to go to war with these people. Okay, so double honors unto the elders and apostles of GMS who taught me the truth, and call High YAHAWASHI and Shabbat Shalom.